today's main star of the show will be the Orthrus, in more ways than one, by the way. Now, if there's a ship that I am known for, it's the RB and the Orthrus. I have been flying the Orthrus as my main cruiser for about 9 months since its release, and I believe I am one of the first pilots to get over 1,000 kills on one of these ships. And I have a pretty good history with the Orthrus. Here you can take a look at the kill marks. Now, the actual number of kills that I have on this thing is, at the moment, I believe well over 3.5 thousand, because I've been flying this ship a lot, even after I have maxed out the kill marks on it. But I did have a break from flying the Orthrus, and now, well, as you can see, the Orth is back, and I'm definitely looking forward to use it. Now, the old school Orth build uses the normal medium missiles. It's basically a kiting ship, a long range ship, but I also like to use the torpedo troll Orthrus. Now, do not use the torpedo troll Orthrus unless you have experience in flying this ship, because the Mordu ships have basically no tank, and they are very easy to kill and very easy to lose, as you will see later on in this video. But I keep this thing as cheap as possible. Even the nanocore is still the tungsten age nanocore. I have dual scramblers, dual webs, and well, there is no tank on it. Now, speaking of tank, well, only for low slot modules might be a problem in some cases, because I can't really use any large extender on this ship with this current build, because it doesn't have enough power grid, and the large boosters eat a lot of capacitor, so your capacitor is not going to last very long. And of course, I can't use the C-type large booster with this build because of lack of power grid. And here you can see 39 miserable seconds on the capacitor. The Mordu ships are not known to have a very good capacitor, one of the worst capacitors in the game. So at the moment I just run a damage control, basically, you know, in a very similar way as the Cynabal, and so far it did work fine. Haven't had a lot of problems. Basically kill the target before the target kills you, and so far the Orthrus did work well. Alright then, well, with that being said, I think it will be time to go towards the first target, and let's see what type of kills we get today. Now, the Orthrus is known to be a battleship killer because of its long range, and it has pretty good DPS. It's very hard to shake off, so it's very good to be used against battleships that are running missions. The Orthrus is basically the best solo ship at the moment, one of the best ones, because of the long range and because of the strength that it has on the scramblers and points. Now, the first target will be a Raven Striker. Now, I had a lot of second thoughts before I engaged this Raven. First was, I might lose this ship, because you don't brawl a battleship with the torpedo troll Orthrus, unless the battleship is a sniper and you can orbit at 0. But this Raven did not look like a sniper, and well, they had been tackled, so I joined with the Orthrus. Now here I'm trying to maintain the orbit. I don't want to go in the web and scrambler range of the Raven, but the Raven is already into armor, so I think I can do a dive into the target and I can orbit at 0 until the Raven is destroyed. I have the damage control just in case. Okay, Raven now in about 30% hull. The torpedoes have very nasty alpha damage and overall very high DPS. My maximum possible DPS with this build is about 3.5, 3.8 thousand. I already have the implant, and I have some general units for the missiles, so that does improve the DPS quite a bit, and the Raven has been destroyed. I had, flying this thing in close range is yeah, it's still a little bit weird, and I do not recommend that you fly the Orthrus with the torpedo launchers unless you already have experience in flying this thing, because it is so easy to lose it, and these things are just so paper that they're made to be kite ships, long range orbit. But again, the Orthrus can have some nasty DPS, and with experience you can easily roll the torpedo launchers on it. Now this was a very forsaken build, and I really wish that I never clicked on the kill on this Raven. This is probably one of the worst builds that I have seen in a very long time. Okay, well, let me prepare for the next target, jumping in the Orthrus. Actually,
undocking.
yeah, let's undock. Everything is prepared. And of course, the game loves to mess up my modules every time I undock, as you can see here. Now the target is a praxis, and a very weird praxis. This praxis is actually inside of a relic site, a exploration battleship. That is one of a kind, probably. I haven't encountered a lot of them, and definitely one of the first ones for me, although I've killed a lot of battleships throughout my Echo's career, but it's very rare to see a battleship running a relic site, or in this case a data site. And it's a huge ship down there. It's a very big boat, scrambled, webbed, and let's yeet. Looks like they popped all the extenders. That's a huge ship, as you can see. The Orthrus is also a pretty big cruiser. It's almost a kilometer long. It's a very long cruiser. But this thing had quintillion stabs. You know, something has a lot of stabs when a Mordor ship cannot hold it. And unfortunately, this thing has warped out. Oh well, it was a nice attempt. Now I have to deal with waiting out the criminal timer. Well, that was unfortunate. Now, the next targets, and I have jumped in the Stratios. We have one Cyclone, we have one Garmur, that's a friendly Garmur. We have a Caracal Navy, that's also a friendly Garmur. Let's not go there. We have a Hyperion. There is a million signals in the system, and I remember we blew up some salty noob in a destroyer, I believe. Was someone's alt, I kinda already forgot the story. And the reason why we blew up everything is because there is a lot of signals, and we destroy everything in the system just to make it very easy to scan a good target. So if you don't want to be blown up, avoid our system, because we shoot everything. Now, this Hyperion is a weird one. Now, weird by, I would say weird by the fit, because a sniper Hyperion. Now, the Hyperion is one of the best brawling battleships, because it has excellent armor repair bonuses, and overall it's a pretty good armor tank. So having a Hyperion as sniper is not really the best of ideas, but you know, I'm not going to judge the build before I see the build, so we will see what will happen. Now I'm approaching, and I don't like my approach speed. I am crawling at 274 meters per second, while the Hyperion is still shooting at targets. And I don't really like to... Okay, this worked, alright. They warped off, because a friendly has warped in to scare them. Excellent. So, I warped to 100, and the Hyperion warped back after about 10 to 15 minutes, and... Oh, you know what's about to happen. You know what's about to happen to this Hyperion. They will literally be going towards my Stratios, and this will improve the approach time, because, well, they did not see this one coming, and well, now they are approaching. I have decloaked, quick tackle, webbed, scrambled. They had been scrambled and webbed before they could do anything. And now I will proceed to orbit at 0. Also a slight ram just to put that thing out of orbit. And now I will orbit at 0. Excellent orbit against a sniper battleship. And now, well, this Hyperion is about to have a very, very bad day. I have offense drones. I have 1.1000 DPS on this Stratios, so it might take a while until the armor on this thing is broken, because the Hyperion does have a very nice armor repair bonus. So I expect this Hyperion to last quite a while on armor, but we will see. The Raelians cannot do any damage to me. The only damage that I'm taking is coming from the drones, and I can easily tank the drones, not a big deal. Now the Hyperion is into armor. I have been webbed, but I have the afterburner, so that one web is not going to hold me at all. They have one target painter, which is weird, and dual Nosferatus, so I should be good. At this range, the Nosferatus will have basically no effect on my ship, especially since my capacitor is not as big as the capacitor on the Hyperion. Well, I was wrong about armor repair on that thing. Looks like the Hyperion doesn't have any good armor repairs on board. A big mistake. Now the Hyperion is into hull. They do repair armor, but you know, it's not much. I would say one armor repair, which is not going to be nearly enough to repair that monster. But they are going down. I'm doing some good damage with my drones and with the Stratios. Okay, about 30% hull left. The railguns do no damage to me still, only the drones.
Shield damage.
And the Hyperion has been yeeted. Nice, alright. Decent loot, I would say. Let's warp out and let's cloak. Excellent work to my teammate. And let's warp out.
Drive
One
active.
Stratios and one Garmur yeeted one Hyperion. If that was a Hyperion that's built like a normal Hyperion, that would not happen this easily, but this Hyperion was, I would say, it felt like it had a weird build. But again, we will find that out in a moment. Let me just quickly start moving in a random direction in space. 2.1 billion, and yes, this was a sniper Hyperion. A micro warp drive, and we have some tracking computers. Well, this was definitely a sniper. And it's a very good idea that I brought webs. Alright, let's go to the next target. I have swapped to the good old Cynabal. The Cynabal is my first serious PvP boat. I used this ship after I lost my Phantasm in a storyline mission a long time ago because of bad internet. That was hilarious, actually. I laughed at my own death when I warped in a mission and I lost connection, and I just knew that I was very dead. I just knew that I was very dead. Okay, now the Harby has been tackled. Dual scrammers working, approaching at about 0, but you know how it works when I fight a Cynabal. Okay, barrage depleted. Gyro Stabler is almost in cooldown. And the Harby has been blown up, and oh man, B-types, lovely. I just have a very bad thing about looking at that kill mail, but seeing B-types is always a pleasant, thing to see. That was a very good loot drop, and well, cannot wait to look at the kill mail. Actually, a little bit worried, just a little bit worried, because I've seen some expensive ships, and this hopefully is not. Whoa, okay. 3.6 billion and a disaster shield booster explains why this ship is a disaster build as well. Oh man, a hybrid tank, 3.6 billion B-type Harpy. You know, I thought that I've seen everything, and every day, every day I prove myself wrong, because every day I see something that's even more cursed than the day before, and currently kind of trapped in that cycle of seeing cursed ships every day. 1.3 billion loot. That was a fantastic loot drop. That was a fat wallet. Next target, we have an Orthrus. And I thought to use my own Orthrus, but the Cynabal
Warp
is
drive
just a good
active.
counter to the Orthrus, so I will go with my good old Cynabal. And well, fingers crossed that I catch that thing before I get scrambled, because the Orthrus has a long range scrambler, and yeah, could be problematic if I get caught. But yeah, the Orthrus actually came back to 0, and they have been webbed and scrambled. The Orthrus quickly losing shield. After all, these things have basically no tank, so it's very easy to break the shield on that thing. The armor is also pretty paper. The Orthrus lost armor, and the Orthrus has been yeeted. I was actually faster than I have expected. I got some Mordu debris, which is always nice, and let's warp out. Always nice when I get some Mordu debris.
Warp drive active.
Alright, let's align to the station. Micro warp drive on. 3 billion Orthrus skill, and yep, not a... what kind of build is this? No rigs, no medium slots, and... yeah. Another bad build. Let's go to the next target. We have a Cynabal. Now I will use the Orthrus to pin down the Cynabal. I have 2 scramblers and dual webs, while my friend in the Tornado will do the
Warp drive
the big hits. A very good combination actually. Tackle Orthrus plus a Tornado. I really love the Tornado. It's such a good ship. I haven't used it in a very long time. There is the Cynabal. They have the Voyage core. I hate that nano core, and it has to be destroyed as quickly as possible. Webbed, scrambled, nicely pinned down for the Tornado. And the Tornado did its thing. It trolled. That was a beautiful alpha hit. Okay, let's warp out. That was a fantastic hit. Looks like my friend lives up to his name. He does live up to his name. A true sniper. Okay, let's align back to the station and I can take a look at the kill. Micro warp drive on, and now let's take a look at the Cynabal kill. 1.2 billion autocannons, a classic PvP build with a Voyage core and of course warp core stabs everywhere. But there is no running from a Orthrus. Next target we have another Cynabal. Now this Cynabal is moving, they're quite fast.
Drive active.
And they're using an afterburner, so I have to quickly go and tackle and slow them down. Might be a risky maneuver, but you know, someone has to web it, because my friends currently don't have webs and the Cynabal is moving at a high velocity. So I have to nosedive right at the faction cruiser in order to scramble and web it. Since I'm using a micro warp drive, I should be faster. The Cynabal slowly losing shield. The Cynabal is a shield tank, scrambled. Soon to go into web range. Missiles are out and webbed. Now my friends can actually get close to the Cynabal and they can start doing damage. Orbit at 0.
We're under attack.
Okay, Cynabal doesn't like my Orthrus, that's to be expected. Damage control active to avoid as much damage as possible. Let me prepare to warp out just in case, because this thing is paper and I'm 1000% sure that the Orthrus cannot take a lot of damage. And the Cynabal has been destroyed. Alright, nice. That was a good catch. And nice teamwork.
Warp drive active.
Warping to the asteroid belt. I am at 59% shield. I took less damage than expected. I expected my shield to go down, but thankfully it did hold. 1.4 billion. This also was a sniper. Okay, interesting. But this is a PvE build with a lot of auxiliary thrusters. And no voyage core for a change. Let's align to the station, and now we can wait out the criminal timer. Alright, we have an Ashimu. I am in the Cynabal. We have been waiting for this Ashimu to come into the mission, and they did. Alright. Damage control active. Large booster, large extended active. I already had a fight before the Ashimu, so my ship was already kinda damaged. My capacitor is gone, but I did enough. I did a good job to hold down the Ashimu for the bombs to land, and the Ashimu has been
Warp drive
destroyed.
active.
Nice. Alright, that was a quick warp in and quick warp out. My criminal timer is still there. Actually, I only have the weapon timer because the Ashimu was under the criminal timer, so I have the weapon timer. 2.1 billion. Alright, and this was a hunter as well. Well, explains why I got the scanner ping. They did not have a good scanner, and they did not have a good armor repair. A civilian armor repair on a Ashimu. I told you we will have a lot of cursed builds, and I wasn't joking.
Warp drive active.
So, the next target, we have one battlecruiser. And I plan to, well, I'm already in warp towards the battlecruiser. .34 kilometers. Now the Orthrus is not as slow as it used to be. They have buffed the speed on these ships in one of the last updates, so now the Orthrus is actually almost as fast as the Cynabal with the exact same build, so that's a good thing. Okay, web scrambled, orbiting at 0.
We're under attack.
Damage control active. I have been webbed. The Harvey is using beam lasers. I will turn off the micro warp drive to make the capacitor live as long as possible. The Harvey is in hole, and the Harvey has been destroyed. Nice. Let's loot and let's warp out. This build is good
Warp drive
against
active.
battlecruisers. It can be good against cruisers and against big ships, but you have to make sure that you orbit outside of the web range against some of the big ships. It kills snipers, and overall I really do enjoy this build so far. You just have to be careful not to get webbed against some targets. Basically take advantage of the long range scramblers and you should be good. 443 million, not bad. Well, actually, let me pull those words back. A cursed Harvey. It's very bad. A very bad build. Don't hybrid tank. It's not a good thing to do to your ship. Alrighty then. Let's wait out the criminal timer and then we can go towards the next target. We have a Ferox. Preparing for warp. Let's warp to 0.
Warp drive
The normal
active.
build for the Orthrus does work as well. You will just have a lot less DPS, but you trade DPS for survivability, because at long range you basically can warp out if you need to warp out, or basically you can decide if you want to take the fight or not. The long range Orthrus build is basically the optimal and I would say the best Orthrus build. Alright, well, there is the Ferox. Let's quickly scramble and web that. Scramble and web. Everything overheated, orbiting at 0.
We're under attack.
And the Ferox has been
We're
destroyed.
under
Let's
attack.
loot and let's warp out.
We're under attack.
Now usually when I'm warping out, I click on the damage control just to avoid as much
Warp
damage as
drive
possible.
active.
After all, this thing is paper, and if you can avoid damage, avoid damage. So it's, you know, one of the big drawbacks for the Orthrus. It's non-existent tank. Okay, let's align to the station and then let's wait out the timer. Let's take a look at kill. 188 million. Well, this was a very cheap Ferox, but not a bad build. Not as cursed as some of the other builds on the list today. Next we have a Harby. Let's warp to 0. One thing that makes this thing work for close range is the long range scrambler with
Warp
extra
drive
strength.
active.
Basically you can hold the targets with 2 scramblers, which makes this thing one of the best ships for low sec hunt, where you have million stabs. Okay, let's approach. 76 kilometers. And they locked me on first. Okay. And they aggro first. That's interesting. And they warped out. Uh-oh. And they warped straight towards the gate. Well, looks like gate guns will have some work to do there.
Warp drive active.
Let's go pick up the loot. No, I haven't locked it on, so I'm not going to get a kill, but you know, at least I will get the loot, which could be expensive, could be cheap, but in any case, loot is loot. And I got some salt from the guy. Oh well. And there is the pod, and there is the wreck. Well, the Harvey panicked, warped to the gate with the criminal timer, and then they throw salt in private chat. Yeah, I've seen that a lot, and this was
Warp
a
drive
hilarious kill. Oh well, I got loot. I can now pick up the loot and just drop that in the hangar. Let's go to planet 6.
Warp drive
We have an
active.
Orthrus as the target. And I picked up my own Orthrus this time around. However, it looks like I will be late. The Orthrus is running a anomaly. They're in the medium anomaly actually. Tier 4 anomaly, which is a little bit weird. Why would an Orthrus do anomalies? Perhaps another very, very, very good build. We're about to find out. Warping to 30. 1 rat left.
Warp drive active.
Well, I think I'll be late on this one, unfortunately, but I'll still... It's a small anomaly, actually. Alright, I'm not really sure what the Orthrus is doing inside of a small anomaly, but okay. And the Orthrus has been destroyed. Let's take a look at the kill. 3.4 billion, and... What kind of build is that? You know, I'm seeing some very sad Orthrus builds lately. Not like there's a noob right here talking in the microphone who made 100 different Orthrus PvP videos with all different builds. But I guess that's just me. Well then, next target, we have been camping a Astero in a exploration site, and I think I should be camping exploration sites a lot more because it can be extremely fun. So this Astero is going straight for the Serpentis debris box, and well, this poor Astero is flying right in the trap. Now I have predicted that they will come after this box first, and well, it's about to eat. Let's eat. Scrambled webbed, approaching to 0. Alright, drones are out. And this little Astero is in some big trouble now. Astero lost shield, Astero lost armor, and Astero has been destroyed. Well, that was a nice catch. You can camp the exploration sites and it is guaranteed that you will have kills because there's a lot of explorers out there. And this is just one example where I actually decided to camp an exploration site, and well, just happens that there is an Astero 5 minutes after I start camping to just pop in. And overall, was a good kill. 478 million. Now this is a sad Astero, not because it's destroyed, but because it is shield tanked. A shield tank Astero is a very sad Astero. Don't shield tank Sister of Eve ships. It's not a good idea. Okay, well, I'll sit there for a couple more moments and then I'll go back to the Orthrus. Let's go to the next target. We have one prophecy that has been tackled, and looks like the prophecy is very tanky, so I am coming in to help. After all, it is I guess my duty to help my friends out when they need help. After all, they help me. They help me out when I need help. Although I usually don't ask for help, but sometimes I do when it's required.
Warp drive
and teamwork
active.
is the key to victory, so remember that. Alright, it's already in warp and Hunter's Trap. Okay, we are landing. Well, actually not landing, but still in warp. It is a long warp. This is a pretty big system, so the warps sometimes take a while. But by the time we landed, looks like the prophecy has escaped. Now the prophecy has been baiting here, so the prophecy is using a PvP build, but the moment we have entered local, they have warped out, which is fine. However, we will try to wait for the prophecy to be back, because sometimes they do come back, and when they do, well, that's the moment when they get yeeted. Now, we had a couple attempts to catch the prophecy, and unfortunately every time we enter the system, the prophecy turns around and warps away. Every time they warp in, they change the warping location, so it's a bit difficult to catch them, and predicting where they will warp next is not as difficult as it sounds, but we have very long range and we have some very nice alpha damage on our side, so range and tackling the prophecy is not really a big problem, because they can be destroyed by the time they warp away. Now I'll align myself towards the gate just in case if anything happens. There is a prophecy 170 kilometers away from us. I will approach, I will burn towards the prophecy. My friend in the sniper will open fire very soon, and perhaps you will see a monster alpha hit on the prophecy in a moment. Well, the prophecy seems to have some very nice armor resistance, and they warped out. I honestly expected the prophecy to explode because the tornado has a lot of alpha damage, but unfortunately this prophecy survived. Perhaps they used a damage control, not really sure. In any case, not a big problem, not a big loss, because it's only a prophecy, although sometimes prophecies can be quite expensive, and I think you will have a good example of a expensive prophecy later on in this video.
Warp drive active.
Warping to a small anomaly. I'm warping to the target completely blind. I did not see what the target is. I just saw that there was chat in in the fleet chat, so I just yeeted my Orthrus right at the first corp mate. And well, there is nothing in this anomaly. I guess wrong warp. Warping to... Okay, yeah, I messed up the warp, my bad. Warping to 0.
Warp drive active.
Oh, it's actually a Mauler. Now I see it. Alright, well, fair enough. I did not see that that detail in the fleet chat. Alright, well, happens. And well, we have a Venture 4 versus a Mauler. That's a very interesting matchup right there. Webbed and scrambled. The Mauler is a tanky cruiser, so let's overheat weapons. And the Mauler has been destroyed by the Venture. Actually, no, it was destroyed by the Ashram, my bad. The Venture 4 has some teeth, by the way. Don't underestimate that thing. That Venture 4 is a very good ship. Let's take a look at the kill. 67 million. Oh well, that's actually hilarious. 3 faction ships versus a Mauler. I kinda feel bad a little bit. Might be overkill actually. Definitely overkill. But in any case, let's align to the station and let's wait out the criminal timer.
Undocking.
The next target is a prophecy. I will warp to 0 and I will yeet the Cynabal.
Warp drive active.
This prophecy had some very juicy drones, so I expect at least 1 billion from the kill mail, but we will see. We will find out. Offense drones are always expensive, and well, I kinda need them, and I kinda use them on the Stratios. All right, scrambled webbed, barrage on. I haven't turned on the... Now I have turned on the gyro stabilizers. And the prophecy has been blown up. Alright, let's warp out. And let's take a look at the kill when I warp out,
drive
of course.
active.
Alright, let's take a look at the kill. 1.66 billion. This was an expensive one. An expensive one for sure. And oh, Loot Fairy said yes. Alright. That's a lot of juicy drones there.
Undocking.
1 billion loot drop. I called it. Let's go to the next target. We have 1 Gila, and I think this is the last target for today. Let's warp at 0. I got very much used to fly Cynabal. It's a very good cruiser for this job, and it can also take a couple hits because it can be quite tanky with the damage control and with the extender. But overall, I really do enjoy flying the Cynabal. It's a fantastic ship for this job. Okay, there's the Gila. And they also have some very juicy drones. Let's quickly engage that cruiser. Approaching to 0, locking on now. Scrambled and webbed, overheated, barrage on. And once the shield on the Gila is down, the whole ship explodes.
We're under
Let's
attack.
warp out and let's take a look at the kill.
Warp drive active.
Overall, a very nice catch and fantastic work actually. 1.7 billion. Looks like a PvP Gila and a DPS PvP Gila. Oh well, was a very nice kill. Alright, well, that was a very nice run with my pirate cruisers. Overall, the Orthrus would definitely need some improvement, and I'll definitely change the build on that thing because I'm not really happy with the current. One damage control is not bad, but it just feels, I don't know, it feels so risky to fight like that. And the Cynabal does get the job done, but you know, sometimes the Orthrus has more points, so it's actually easier to hold targets with the Orthrus. But I guess I'll find a solution to the problems in any case. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed. I love you all, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.